costing your time. Time mastery, the art of costing your time. That's what we want to talk about today. Now, I'm sure a lot of us are very used to time management. It's not a new phenomenon. It's not a new area for us. But there is a big difference between time mastery and time management, though a thin line, but a very distinct one that we can actually distinguish. And today we want to talk about that time mastery and understand what costing your time is. We will also delve a little into time management, because for you to practice time mastery, you must have graduated from time management. In fact, an author says time management is like first graduate, first degree, and then time mastery is a postgraduate degree. So you understand that for you to get to the point of time mastery, you must first understand, apply time management. And that's what we want to talk about today. So let me welcome you and ask you to sit back while we get it going. Okay, so as is my want sometimes, I just want to get some of us truly ready and good to go. So you may just enjoy a bit of my sound. Okay, I was saying that our session today is supported and powered by Excel 360 Plus. Excel 360 Plus is an organization that focuses in excellence in communication, entrepreneurship, and leadership. So that is the company powering today's session, and I hope that we would have something to do in the future. But that's not why we're here. We are here to talk about time mastery, right? So, first and foremost, Ruth, you may have to mute yourself. Okay, I did that again. I don't know why people are coming on and leaving their microphones open. All right, first, it is important for us to look at the objectives of what we intend to achieve today's session. And it's important for us to look at that and make notes where necessary, because it might be very helpful to look at that versus what we will be able to complete at the end of today. So the first thing is that at the end of today's time mastery class, you would understand the concept of time, because people understand time differently, apply it differently, but you will understand the true concept of time today. And you will be able also at the end of this section to determine how much your time is worth. And when I say how much your time is worth, I mean in terms of value, right? You will be able to appreciate the value of time and its place in your success. That time is a currency and plays a very important role in your success. You will be ready to organize and prioritize your work for organizational success. So it doesn't matter whether you're an employee, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, or you are even in the nonprofit space. You will be able to learn and understand how to organize and prioritize your work for organizational success. Also, you will be prepared to take the lead in time mastery and discipline. There cannot be time mastery without discipline. So you will understand that for you to understand and apply time mastery, discipline, self-control are very, very important. But overall, it is our hope, and truly so, that at the end of this session, we would have created an experience which enhances your understanding of the value of time and its mastery for improved productivity and fulfillment. So we'll understand the difference between when you are fulfilled due to your understanding of time and its application, as opposed when you have to struggle or just manage time. I hope this fits somehow into your expectations. But just for us to get started, what I have listed is not exhaustive. So I'm just going to ask for the next 1 minute. Please use the chat pane. I will ask us to please put in here what we are looking forward to accomplishing. Okay, so when you heard or when you saw the promotion for this session, Time Mastery, the Art of Costing Your Time, what were you expecting? What are your expectations? So can I get some persons just type on the chat pane, just a few persons, of what you're looking forward to experiencing here today? Someone says, oh, my dear friend Nelly says, level of my time management skills to mastery. So she wants to graduate from time management skills to mastery. Thank you so much. Who else? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. What are your expectations when you saw the promotion? What were you looking to accomplishing today? How to effectively avoid procrastination. Thank you. And that is from Caddy. Thank you. How to effectively avoid procrastination. Okay, just one more or two, and that's it. What are your expectations? Okay, to learn how to prioritize my time better. Yes, maybe you're already prioritizing, but you want to learn how to do it better. There is improvement. There's a Japanese word that is kaizen. Kaizen means, continuous improvement, that if you do it bit by bit, someday you become a master. And I agree with you. To manage my time productively, to be able to achieve your daily goals. Yes, I agree totally. That's from Prince. I intend to have a grasp on my time and use it effectively. Yes, perfect. That's fantastic. Okay, to use my time effectively in all spheres. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I didn't have a conversation with you before you started putting it, but I can assure you that 80, 85, maybe 90% of the things you've listed here are covered in today's section, and I will ask for your cooperation as we get right into it now. So, let's start. On my screen, you will see a typical African proverbs. It says, every morning in a game reserve in Africa, a gazelle wakes up knowing it must run faster than the fastest lion, or it will be killed either for breakfast, for lunch, or for dinner. But in the same game reserve, every morning a lion awakens, knowing it must outrun the slowest gazelle or starve to death. And it says it doesn't matter if you are a lion, a gazelle, when the sun comes up, you better be running. Now, what are the emphases here? That the gazelle must run faster. It's a question of time. And that the lion, in order not to starve, must outrun the slowest gazelle. Again, a matter of time. Now, if they both think about time, when gazelle wants to run and the lion wants to pursue, what will be the difference? The difference will be the strategy. So even if they set out at the same time, the gazelle takes off and the lion starts pursuing it. Now, sometimes it's the strategy. How strong is the gazelle? How patient is the gazelle? Is it going to run a straight line, or sometimes you go to the left or to the right, or even turns again, just to make sure you delay and confuse the lion. So even when you run faster or you outrun the other, what is most important is your strategy. And so it is important for us to understand that time mastery is also about strategy of time. Strategy of time. I just wanted to get us started with that. Well, my dear friends, let's look at some very important what ifs. And I want you to please pay attention and try to provide answers. So my first what if is, what if the airplanes were never invented? Or the computers never made? Or the mobile phones never came to existence? Or AI was never developed? I want your answers. Can you just type it? What would you think would happen today? Where do you think the world would be today? What would you as a person be doing today? So let's get a few answers. What if the airplanes were never invented? What if the computers were never made? What if mobile phones were never came to existence? And what if AI was never developed? Okay, let's get a few responses quickly. Somebody says, Prince, it will still remain in Stone Age. Okay. A few more. Airplanes never made, computers never invented, mobile phone never came to existence, AI never developed. I want your thoughts, quickly. Travel will take too long. Yes, travel will take long. I would have had to stay local, so a smaller world, and will never have met you if there were no airplanes. Yes, people would still adapt, correct? We wouldn't be learning here right now. True. Correct. Now, you must understand that before the airplane, there were means of transportation, horses. Before the computer, people found a way when you cannot type it, you can write it on a chalkboard or something. The mobile phone, people sometimes will have to go keep appointment without it, just go by chance. And then, of course, today AI is helping us. But I want to ask a very important question in addition to this. Someone says travel will be difficult. But how does the airplane improve travels? How does the computer help our work? How does the mobile phone enhance our communication? And how does AI make our life a lot easier? A few more responses. Just one or two more responses. More efficient and less time consuming. I love the word efficient. More efficient and less time consuming. Okay, great. Great. That's true. More efficient, less time consuming. So what it means is the aircraft gets you to your destination faster than a horse, faster than a car. It also means that the computer helps you do your work, quicker, in a more organized way. Mobile phone helps you with your communication, which is quicker. Imagine those days when we have to queue, right, to use the telephone. If you come to the queue, say by 8 a.m. in the morning, those days in Nigeria, sometimes it could take 1 hour before it is your turn to make a phone call. 1 hour today in someone's business life is a lot of time. And today we're using AI, the future. In fact, it's here, it's a present. And it helps you to organize. It's something that helps you to think, even though I've been told that it can also be wrong, yes. So I hope you got a grasp of that. But I have additional what ifs. So let's look at this again. What if it was possible to increase the number of hours in a day, number of days in a week, number of weeks in a month, and number of months in a year? What really would man have preferred? I don't know if you have heard people say, oh, I wish I had more than 24 hours. I wish there were 36 hours in a day. I don't know if you heard people say that. Someone says, this is tough. Someone says, I would love it. Yes, there are people who would prefer that we have more than 24 hours. Believe me. In fact, to some person, that is what it should be. Number of hours, I have said it many times. Yes, thank you, Khadija. Thank you for that. I have also said it myself. Oh, I wish there were 36 hours. I wish the working hours in the day is not 8 or 9 hours. I wish it's 12 hours. We've all said that before. And it doesn't matter how much we organize. It doesn't matter how much we wish. It doesn't matter how much we contemplate it. That is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I know that if you were given the choice of working efficiently and effectively versus having more hours to work, most persons will choose more hours. That's the truth. But that is not going to happen. So I want to start preparing your mind to things that will never happen. As a question, what would you rather do? What would you rather do? So let's try a few more. Henry Ford said, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. It's the same. But he went ahead and said, no, it's not horses that we need. We need cars and vehicles. Now, would anyone be able to say here or type or open your mic and contribute and tell us why the cars, vehicles are better than faster horses? What if we could make the horses faster by training them, by probably injecting some hormone enhancing substances in them and make them run as fast as cars? So if we could have got horses that can run as fast as cars, why would we need the car? I want responses. So assuming we have horses today that can run as fast as the fastest car, would you prefer the horse or you prefer the car? Let's go. We want some responses.
I think even if we had faster horses, the entire experience of traveling would still be very uncomfortable due to the galloping motion. I think cars make it's more efficient and you enjoy traveling at the same time. So that's my own take on it.
I love that. So even if we have the horses and the cars attaining the same speed, but traveling with a horse for a long distance on it will be very discomforting. And Nelly says that cars are safer. That's true. So efficient wise, it could be the same, but there's a big difference. Nelly has mentioned safety, that the cars will be safer. But what more are the advantages of the cars over the horses? What more? Safety is one. Somebody says she will prefer faster horses. Can you tell us why you prefer faster horses? Kadi says faster horses. And Adeniji says horses will still need to rest during the trip. Yes. But if they both can attain the same speed, why would you prefer a car? Nelly has said safety, and someone else says comfort. Less expensive, I assume. Maybe. What more? Let me ask you a question. Today, when you travel with your cars, you have a trunk. You can put your luggage in it. You can take more persons in the same car. Convenience. Sorry, said thank you. He said convenience. So you travel with your car. You have a trunk. You can put your bags in it. You can take 2, 3 more persons with you. What does that have as an advantage over the house? Anyone? Let's go. Let's go. This is not a teaching class. It's an engagement class. If your one single car can take 2 people, mechanical engineering vehicles can work longer than humans and animals. Thank you very much. So apart from efficiency, which has to do with the speed, there is one very important thing: effectiveness. So there's a big difference between efficiency and effectiveness. So the vehicle is more effective. We talked about safety. It's about being effective. We talked about comfort. It's about being effective. It's about taking more luggage, more people. It's about being effective. It's also about being able to travel longer distance before you can stop to even feel it over and above the house. That is effectiveness. So that's a big difference between time management, actually, and time mastery. Why time management focuses more on the efficiency, how quickly you do it, how fast you do it. Time mastery is beyond the efficiency, how well it is done within a reasonable time. So, now, Daniel, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. So now we understand why the vehicles will be preferred over the horse. Now, one more what if. Please, can we have people turn off their mics? This is a very important area that I want us to listen to. What if there was a time value credit? I repeat, what if there was a time value credit and the following depended on how much of this value credit you have? Your happiness, your health, success, wealth, and your longevity. Daniel, can you mute your mic? Daniel, please, can you mute your mic? Can you mute your mics, please? Thank you. So I was saying, what if there was a time value credit? You know what a credit card is, for example, credit card, that you can actually purchase something, to a maximum that you have agreed with your bank, and that bill can be settled 1 month after. So what if you had a time value credit and the following depended on how much of this value credit you have? Your happiness, your health, your success, your wealth, your longevity. My question to you is, how many of you on this call will be happy today? How many of you on this call will be healthy, will be successful, will be wealthy, and will live a long life? Can we get some responses? So let's imagine. This is a question to say, if you understand time mastery and time management and you've been very good at it, and we say, okay, because of your level of mastery, we're going to give you a time value credit. And how much of this you have determines your happiness, your health, your success, your wealth, your longevity. So I'm asking, how many of us on this call will be happy today? Someone says, Omo. Very tough question. Being happy will be tough, honestly. Yes, the same applies to me. So not to you alone, even though I'm the one sharing this with you, is the same. But if the time credit we have or time value credit we have will determine how happy we are, how healthy, successful, wealthy, and how long we live, I can assure that a lot of persons will be unhappy, unhealthy, unsuccessful, very poor, and they will live short lives because some of us are very terrible when it comes to our time understanding and usage. Someone says, I will owe credits. Another one says, the confusion is real. That is the truth. And that's how I want you to begin to look at what time is. Time is not the clock or the watch. It's not saying, I have to be here at 3 o'clock. Let me try to be on time. You're looking at your clock. That's not what time is when it comes to time mastery. So I hope that question made some sense. So permit me, I want to read from the Bible, John chapter 5, verse 4. There it says, for an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the river or the water. Then whoever stepped in it first, after the stirring of the water, was made well of whatever disease he had. So imagine there were 70 persons waiting. by the river. 70 persons waiting by the river. And the angel goes there and stirs the water, and the 70 persons all attempt to get into the water at once. This portion is saying the person who touches the water, who gets into the water first, is the only one out of the 70 who will be healed. What does that tell you? The person who gets in first, and so even if the 70 jumps in, the one who gets in first is the only one who gets healed. I want some response. What does it tell you? What does this communicate to you? That when the water is stirred, whoever gets in first is the one who gets healed. Yes, I'm getting some responses. Timing is important. Yes, attention. It communicates timeliness. Exactly. To be proactive and ready at all times. Exactly. Exactly. But much more. Let me put this. Much more. If you know and realize that your success, your health, your life is dependent on how you understand and use your time, how proactive you are, how timely you are with things. If your life, your success depended on it, you will do everything to succeed. You will do everything to succeed. The only challenge is sometimes we do not understand that most of the things we do and what we should accomplish are all time dependent. They are all time. Somebody says timing, readiness, and targets. Exactly. Exactly. And even before you jump into the river or the water, you must plan your strategy. How do you want to jump? Do you want to run there or you want to just dive? So before people run, you're there. So all that comes in. You must think. And that's why I love the word proactive. You must think before the stirring of the water, how am I going to do it? To be the first person who gets in. It is the same way you should think about your life, about your business, about your processes. You never take anything for granted. You don't let things catch you unawares. You don't come to the office and begin to struggle. Oh, I have missed this. And then you get confused. What this is telling us is preparedness is very important. Proactiveness is very important. Planning long-term is very important. Having the end in mind or seeing the end from the beginning is very important. Again, this is time mastery strategy and not just time management. Let me take one more from the Quran. It says, by time, indeed, mankind is in loss, except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds and advised each other to truth and advised each other to patience. But this is why I want you to pay attention. This surah highlights that time is a precious commodity. Precious. Precious. The way you treat your gold, the way you treat your money, the way you treat your silver, the way you treat your jewelry, the way you treat your car, the way you treat your bank account, you must treat time that way. It's a precious commodity. And humanity in general is at loss due to its fleeting nature. What is fleeting nature? It means you cannot hold it. You cannot hold time. You cannot say today, I want to stop the time. I want to hold the time, save it, and then use this time tomorrow. For example, you have a work to this. Okay, I want to stop. I want to stop the time. You cannot stop the time because the time is not the clock. You know, there is planetary body that controls the time that you have no access and control over. So you cannot stop it. And so fleeting nature of time talks about the fact that time just passes. It keeps moving. It doesn't wait for you. Okay. And it doesn't matter how you wish or how long you pray and fast and cry and agonize. Time will never, never wait for you. That's important for us to know. So everything is truly a product of time. Everything is a product of time. But more importantly, we must understand that conception is a product of time. Now, for a newlywed husband and wife, they want to have a baby. You know, there's a specific time you must plan for the wife and the husband to meet for conception to come. If you miss it, you wait one more month. If you miss it, you wait one more month. You cannot say, I missed it today, and you must do it tomorrow. It's not going to work. So conception is a matter of time. I want you to think about that. Football is a matter of time. Football is 90 minutes. And then if there are some delays, maybe 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes delay, the referee adds that. I've never seen a football team at the end of the game says, oh, to the organizers or the referee, oh, we made some mistakes in our strategies. Can we have another 15 minutes to put our strategy right? It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen in football. In politics, it's the same. If you lose election in politics, and they go through tribunal and everything, you cannot come back and say, oh, we miscalculated. People didn't work well. Can we just have this redone next week or next month so we can do it right? You've lost staff. The same thing in business. If you put your foot wrong in business and you're burnt and you lose money, you lose money. You can only get money in the future. The one you lost, you can't go back and get it back. It's not possible. The same thing in war, in strategy. You lose a war. You can't say, oh, you have my captives. Can you release my captives? I want to teach them how to fire the guns more, how to avoid bullets more. It doesn't happen. Relationships, it's time, right? Examination, you have to prepare and say you're going to write the examination on the 10th day of March 2025. If you miss it, you have to wait for the next time. You cannot go back and say, oh, I came late, or I wasn't ready, or I forgot. Please give me a special time. You won't get it. Even you're eating, you say, oh, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whether you eat in between, you still has a brunch, whatever you want to call it. Everything is a function of time. Everything. And that's why Zig Ziglar says, lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24 hours in a day. 24 hours. Now, lack of direction. What is direction? Direction is what leads you to your goal. So time mastery is a function of setting goals, understanding your destination, and then following steps, which is direction, to lead you there. That's what it is. So it is that lack of direction because we do not have a destination. We do not have goals. When you lack direction, it's because you don't know where you're going. If you understand where you're going, and you plan it, and you're excited about going there, then you must map out and determine your direction to get there. And that's what Zig Ziglar is talking about. Now, direction is a function of time mastery. Let me ask you, my friend, how long truly is 1 minute? How long is 1 minute? Can anyone tell me? Yes, we're going to share the slides, especially the most important part. Somebody says, so we can go through. Yes, the answer is yes. So I'm asking you, how long is 1 minute? Somebody says 60 seconds. Mathematically, correct. By physics, correct. Can I get more answers? How long is 1 minute? Somebody says 60 seconds. Yes, still mathematically correct. Physics, correct. Astronomically, correct. Somebody says 60 seconds that sometimes go very slow and sometimes very flies. You are actually reading my mind. 60 seconds, long when we are bored, fast when we are doing a fun activity. Fantastic. Now, 60 seconds. When we look at the clock, is what it is. When you look at doing mathematically or by physics, that's what it is. But 60 seconds truly is what you say it is to you. It is. Why some persons see 60 seconds as being too long, some people see it as very short. You know, there was a story that was told that in the 1970s and 1980s, you know, Formula One, the Formula One competition, the car racing, that at some point in the early 80s and late 70s, it took about 3.5 minutes, sometimes 2 minutes, to change the 4 tires of a Formula One car when he pulls for change of tires, right? Then it was considered very fast. In fact, people say, wow, how could we change 4 tires in 2 minutes? 4 tires in 2 minutes. People considered it very quick and very fast. Now I ask you, can anyone guess how long it takes, or the fastest time that the Formula One 4 tires have been changed? Can anyone take a guess? Used to be about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes, some 35 years ago, some 30 years ago. Do you know how long it takes to change those 4 tires and get the driver moving again when he pulls into the car changing area? Somebody says 1 minute, 1.30 minutes. Okay, that's like 90 seconds. Yes, who else? Before it used to be more than 2.5 minutes. 30 seconds. Okay, who else? 45 minutes, 7 seconds. No, it cannot be 45 minutes. It used to be 2.5, 3 minutes before. 30 seconds, 7 seconds. Who is sure? 45 seconds. Who is sure? Who is sure? Okay, let me shock you. That today, those 4 tires can be changed under 5 seconds. I didn't say, I said under 5 seconds. It can be changed. It can be changed from 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to under 5 seconds to change 4 tires. 4 tires. So you can imagine. So how long a minute is dependent on how you value time. So if I ask you how much, somebody says how, sir, please Google it. You can change those 4 tires under 5 seconds. Google it. I'm not telling you, Google it. Under 5 seconds, you can change the 4 tires. For you to say, somebody says record time is 3.5 0.44 seconds. So you can see the 3 is not minute. It's not minute. That 3 is seconds. So it's sub 4 seconds. 3.44 seconds, not 3 minutes, 3.44 seconds. So Oluwaseun, thank you for that research. That is to tell you. And believe me, in the future, it could become shorter. So 1 minute can be too long for you. It might be too short, depending on what value you attach to it. If you attach a great value to it, it's not a lot of time, but it can have great value. So I want you to think about that. Thank you, Oluwaseun, for that. For somebody who was asking how, sir, you can Google it. I can assure you it is under 5 seconds. So time flies. It is up to you to be the pilot. Time flies. It's up to you to be the pilot. Just the same with the airplane, right? So if you take control, you need to decide what direction, how fast you fly, how high you fly, how efficient you fly, how effective you fly. That's pretty important. But let's look quickly at the concept of time because it's been misunderstood. Time is one of our most precious resources. Yes, it's a resource, not measured by just the clock. It is valuable, it is perishable, it is finite, it is irreplaceable, and cannot be saved. Somebody say, I want to do this week, I want to save time. You cannot. Because every task will stretch to fill the time allotted to it. So even if you do it quicker and faster, you didn't save time. You have done it within the time allotted because that's what your capacity can carry. So it's not called saving time. If you can reallocate time, you cannot just save time. So time is perishable, means we can lose it. It's finite. It's not infinite that you can stretch and it gets to a point when it passes. Time can only be relocated from activities of lower value to activities of higher value. Please take note. We must understand the concept of time. And if you have any questions, as we move on, please drop the question on the chat pin or open your mic, call my attention, and ask a question, okay? So then, what is time? My dear friends, what is time? Albert Einstein says that time is actually how we measure events. Again, this is from the point of view of a physicist, a mathematician. Examples of events are being in the class, such as this one, right? You're in this event. We say, okay, we're going to start at 5 p.m. West African time. We're going to finish maybe around 7 or before 7 p.m. It's time. It's a duration, right? Driving also. If you're going to drive from one location to the other, you're going to determine how long that's going to take and determine how you want to drive. Today we use Google Map, and Google Map tells you, oh, it's going to take 45 minutes. Depending on where you live in the world, if it's in Lagos where I live, that 45 minutes can become 2 hours or 1 hour, right? Okay. Meetings, also time, how you measure the meetings, how efficient, how effective the meetings are, when they started, when it ended, how well it went, and all of that, etc. Each event takes up a certain amount of time, each event. But that is definition from point of view of a physicist. Let's look at additional definitions of time. And someone said this when I asked the question of how long is 1 minute. Time, slow when you wait. True. Fast when you are late. And when I was coming here, I was driving because I was running late. I was driving. So for me, the time it's moving fast like wildfire. But if I had all the time, for me, it looks like the time is not even moving. Short when you are happy. When you're excited and you are in a fun environment, you wish that it never ends. And before you say, oh, what a world. This fun just ended. For you, it's short. Long when you feel bored. That is true. You want that boredom to end. You want it to end, and it looks like it's lasting forever. Deadly when you are sad. You're looking for happiness. Endless when you are in pain. Every time is determined by your feelings and your psychological conditions, and not by clocks. By your feeling. That's what determines time. Okay? I sent out these quotes a few days ago, on social media. I said, time is now. There's no time in the past. There's no time in the future. The only time is now. I've read books on time management and mastery where they talked about the past, the present, and the future. But the truth is, what you've lost in time in the past, you cannot gain in time. You can make amends. I was going to say failure. When people fail, they pick up and move on again. Yes, but you cannot gain the time you have lost. Nobody should kid you about that. It doesn't matter how much they think they've got in certification or expertise. Time lost is lost forever. You can accomplish the result you failed to accomplish yesterday, 2 days ago, last year. You can get it next year, but it's not the same time. So if you had planned to accomplish something by 1st of March and you didn't get it, and you get it by 1st of September, you've got the same thing, but you didn't save any time. You didn't get any time. You lost time. The question is, would you have preferred to get that thing accomplished by March 1st or September 1? The answer is very simple. You would wish you got it when you tried it first. That would be your wish, that you got it when you tried it first. If you missed it that time, you missed it. So there's no time in the past, and there's no time in the future. Because even what you have to do in the future, you need to plan now and determine it. Okay? So we need to look at that. But the bigger question, what then is time mastery? Which is our topic. What then is time mastery? Time mastery is taking control of and strategically, and I'm very particular about that, strategically using your time to reach your goals and live a more fulfilling life. Now, if you are an employee, for example, and every day you're rushing to get to the office to start at 8 because you have to clock in, that's time management. It's not time mastery. And then once it's 5 p.m. because you don't want to give 10 minutes of your time to your company, you pick up your bag and you go home. That is time management. Okay, once it's your break time, you leave at exactly maybe 1 p.m. and come back at 2 p.m. You don't want to leave after 10 minutes after 1 because you don't want to give your time to the company. That's time management. It's not time mastery. So, but when you take control of and strategically use your time to reach your goals and live a fulfilled life, there are people who work in companies. They're not happy. They're only there still because of the money they earn. Some of them don't feel comfortable resuming at 8 o'clock or at 9. Some will prefer to resume at 10 and maybe close at 4, or maybe resume at 10 and close at 7 p.m. But sometimes your company does not give you that flexibility. That's time management. Or even yourself as a business owner, right? You have an appointment with a client and you're rushing, you're struggling, you want to get there and you're sweating, everywhere. That's time management. It's not time mastery, right? Because you are in a hurry, you want to please the client. You are just about getting there so the client will say, oh, you are on time, great. But that's not what it should be. The question is, who says the time when you're going to meet? Can you even negotiate the time with the client and say, oh, instead of 10 a.m., can we make it 11 a.m.? We're talking about time mastery, my friends, not time management. Okay. So time mastery truly starts with mind mastery. I'm going to explain that. That's important. We said if you go back one step, it says taking control of. Mind mastery is about taking control of yourself, determining where you go, what you act on, when you stop, taking control. That is what time mastery is. Therefore, time mastery starts with your mind mastery. Mind mastery is the capacity to exert your own will, your own strategy on yourself. And instead of being controlled by circumstances and the environment, you control the circumstances and the environment. It means you determine that I'm not going to be under pressure. You determine that I'm not going to have a scattered desk. You determine that I'm not going to procrastinate. Now, when you reduce procrastination, for example, when you reduce distractions, for example, those are time management. You are reducing it. But when you're able to avoid procrastination, when you're able to avoid distractions, that is time mastery. I hope you get the difference. Reduction of distractions, reduction of procrastination are time management tools and strategies. But when you can avoid procrastination, when you can avoid distractions, that is time mastery strategy. Okay, so it comes from the inside. It becomes a habit. Okay, so time mastery versus time management. So I just want to draw some very simple distinctions or examples, distinctions between time mastery and time management so we can understand it. And like I said, please, if you have any question at any point, please do ask me. Somebody says, will the slide be shared? Yes, the slide will be shared by the team. I want to confirm that again, so you don't worry about that. Okay, the slide will be shared. Thank you. So time mastery and time management. Let's try to look at this. Mastery. Mastery means control, mindset, long-term effectiveness. Please listen to long-term effectiveness, not just now, long-term effectiveness. So for you to say you are a master in time or a time mastery expert, you must have control, not being controlled. You must have a mindset that is firm and determine how and when you should apply your time. and it must be focused on long-term effectiveness, sustainability, repeatability, consistency. That's time mastery. Another thing is time mastery is about understanding time's value. I talked about that. Value, not just whether you're keeping to time. That's not value. Aligning with goals and making intentional choices, not choices because you're pressed by time, not choices because you're running late, not choices because you're being controlled. You make these choices because you understand what your long-term goals are. So understanding time's value, aligning with your goals, and making intentional choices is another aspect of time mastery. Another aspect is achieving success by mastering how time aligns with your goals. So if you set goals, you must align your time. What are your schedules? Will your other activities allow you to accomplish the goals you've set? You need to answer that question, right? You must check your energy level. We must understand that energy level. Sometimes we pick up things that we cannot do, and then we become pressured. We break down, we burn out, if you like, because we are not able to manage our energy level. We take too many things that we can deal with. And you must understand your purpose. The last part of this time mastery is eliminating time-wasting habits. I didn't say reduce it. I'm careful with my choice of words. When it comes to time mastery, it's eliminating time-wasting habits and focusing on high-impact activities. Time mastery, okay? And then the last one there is leading time. You are leading time, you are not managing time. They're two different things. Leading time means the time follows you, for example, right? What is done is dependent on how you program it. It's not dependent on how others program you. So you are leading time. When it comes to management part, I'm trying to draw a line, a distinction between mastery and management. Now, management is about efficiency and organization. Now, if you look on the other side, the mastery talks about long-term effectiveness. There's a big difference between efficiency and effectiveness. We're going to look at that, right? Because efficiency defines time management, while effectiveness, in addition to the efficiency, also defines mastery, right? So management is about efficiency and organization. It's about using tools and techniques to plan and allocate time. So tools and techniques to allocate time is management. It's management. That's what it is. Okay. Then let's look at getting things done efficiently by scheduling tasks, setting priorities, and minimizing distractions. Minimizing distractions. Management. You're minimizing distraction. You're not eliminating, please. Setting deadlines, managing workload, and then to-do list. And finally, you are managing time. You're not leading time. I hope we got that. Now, there are two different notions or conceptions of time. One is what we call the clock obsessed. We're always looking at our watch, our clock, and we time. You're in a hurry all the time. You are clock obsessed. That is a tool for time management. Okay, you got to the office, you want to get in there so you can clock in at 8. If it's 1 minute out of 5 minutes, 10 minutes after 8, you feel terrible for the day. Time management tool. But the other one is a source of opportunity where innovation and adaptability is considered, and that is time mastery strategy. So clock obsessed is a tool for time management, while a source of opportunity where you have innovation and adaptability, is time mastery strategy. So time mastery. Time really has nothing to do with the clock, but everything to do with organizing and controlling our participation in certain events that coordinate with the clock. Yes. Costing your time is knowing the value of your time and worth of every minute. You must know the worth of every minute. We're going to get there. Okay? That's critically important. Time as a resource. People are organization's most critical resource. Time is the most critical resource of employees. Time is therefore one of your most precious resources as an individual, as an employee, as a business owner. So all aspects of works require time, and time is also essential for the important relationships in your life. Okay, I have a small case study quickly. I'm going to just split us into two quick groups. Can you all read this case study? You can take a photo of it. Each person, can you take a photo? Because I'll put you into a WhatsApp, a breakout room right now, and you're going to do this in 3-4 minutes, not 7 minutes actually. So please, can I ask you to take a photo of this? Take a photo quickly. Take a photo. You do that in 10 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you. So I'm going to put you into breakout rooms quickly. Please do quickly to answer this, and it's important. You can appoint somebody who will represent your team, and the person will have only 1 minute, to deal with this. So we're going to breakout rooms now. It's going to be 2 rooms. Okay, I'll do 3 rooms because we are 35. So I'll do 3 rooms randomly. So I'm creating 3 rooms randomly. Okay, we are signing automatically. Do you have any question before we go into the breakout room? Do you have any questions? Seeing none. Do you have any question? Okay, let's attempt this now. You'll come back in 4 minutes. Let's go. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Please mute your mic, mute your mics. You actually had 5 minutes, which was more than what I wanted you to have. Okay, so let's take 30 seconds, 1 minute. Room one. Room one. Room one. Your connection. Can you try again? Room one. If you're not ready, room two. Let's go.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. Mafton, go ahead, please.
Okay, so sorry, my name is Faith Duro.
Faith, thank you.
So this is what Tunde did not do right. First, let's start with what he did right. So Tunde found a tie online for 8,999 naira, and he was surprised to see that the delivery fee was 9,000 naira. All right, so this is what he did right. He was correct to question he was right to have questioned the high delivery fee, because I stay in Lagos and the delivery fee from Alausa, I think, from Surulere to Alausa is quite on the high side for 9,000 naira. So it's supposed to be at that, let's say 2,500 or 3,000 naira. So he was right to have questioned the delivery fee and to also have, explored another alternative. However, what he did not do well, or what he could have done better, was to check the delivery fee first before completing the order. So he should have asked if there was a delivery fee that was supposed to be included in the order, in the price. So if the delivery fee was not included, he was supposed to have checked with the price of the delivery fee and confirmed the price before placing the order or completing the order. That's the first thing. And then he also should have compared the prices across different websites. So probably there are some people some websites might say, okay, the product is 10,000 naira with a free delivery. So he would have, weighed his options. So I think he did not do a proper research.
Okay, thank you.
To find out
we'll leave it at that. Thank you, because I'm going to have a question at the end of the presentations. Okay, Faith, what room did you represent? 1 or 2?
2.
Okay, room 3. Quickly, let's do this under 1 minute. Room 3.
Okay, I can just go for room 3.
Go ahead.
So for what he did right, I would say it was.
We lost you.
To get an idea on the price. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Can you...
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay. So he did well to check the pricing of the tie, and then what he could have done better, he could have asked.
Your connection is not stable.
A better, cheaper tie, and probably cheaper delivery service of that. So that's what I feel he should have done, rather than just hopping off in his vehicle and driving all the way there to
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is room 1 ready now? Is room 1 ready before I ask my question?
Yes, sir.
Room 1, go ahead now.
Yes. Okay, good evening, sir. So I feel that Mr. Tunde was supposed to check the cost very well before actually making the purchase. Okay, he found the exact tie for 8,999 naira, but the delivery fee was 9,000. So I believe that the thing he did right was basically to drive to pick up the item himself. But the thing he did wrong was that he actually wasted that time of going to Surulere, because I believe that time would have been channeled into doing something more productive that would have even earned more than that 9,000 naira. That's my opinion, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And now I have one last question for you on this. So let us assume, please, for the sake of discussion and assumption, let us assume that Tunde checked all other prices for delivery and everywhere was 9,000 or more. 9,000 or more. There was no cheaper delivery fee, 9,000 or more. He checked with the online store. They are not doing free delivery, so he must pay to get the product. Now, the final question is, Antunde decided to drive a distance of about 45 minutes to go to Surulere to get it. My question now is, was he right to drive to Surulere to get it? Because that 9,000 or more is a lot. Can I just get comments on the chat quickly on this one? Okay, I'm getting comments in. Okay, so he was right to decide to drive. Is that the answer I'm getting? That his decision to drive, instead of being ripped off, 9,000 was good. Somebody say not right. Somebody say it's right. Yes, right through there is the best option. Delivery fee is too high to the product. Is ordering. No, just for that time, he should have combined it or asked someone who was already going. Yes, that's an option. I should let go of the tie and purchase from other location. If other location is the same price. He made the right choice by driving down to pick it himself. Okay, so let's try to stop it there and have a 1 or 2 minutes quick conversation. Now, let's look at it this way. Tunde was sitting in the comfort of his office when he checked the tie, right? Online. He didn't have to go anywhere. Someone has said something quite interesting. So he didn't have to go anywhere. He checked online. Please mute your mic. Prince, mute your mic. He checked online. He found the price. The delivery fee was high. It was like a rip-off for him, too expensive. So he decided to drive. Now, for those of us who are discussing, what are the things they would consider first? And someone has mentioned some of it. In today's Nigeria and Lagos, please, there are 4 points or 5 points I'm going to mention to us, and I'll ask us to just think about it. And then you decide if you still think Tunde should have driven his car or if he should have ordered online. So first thing is, if you have to drive, for those of us who know Lagos, apologies to those who are not in Nigeria who don't know the distance, but it's about 45 minutes. For Tunde to drive from Alausa to Surulere, he has to buy petrol, that's fuel. And that fuel, as at today, will not be less than 10 to 15,000. That's number one. Number two, there will be wear and tear in the vehicle because you put pressure on the vehicle. It doesn't matter whether it is 0.011% of wear and tear on the vehicle. That's number two. Number three, Tunde would spend time, the 45 minutes to and 45 minutes back, that's 90 minutes. That's number three. Number four, he would drive the car himself, whether you like it or not. There's some type of, when you drive, it may not be driven, there's some kind of energy, the mental, inputs and everything put together. And then he will pick up the tie. So my question is, with these 4 considerations, do you still think it was a wise decision? And someone says, plus traffic and all of that, and even the risk, depending on what time he's driving. I'm asking you now, do you think it was still a good decision for him to drive? Let's get the answers in with these 4 things I mentioned. Some people are saying no. But the most important thing is we're talking about time mastery and the value of time. The most important thing Tunde should have considered is, what is 90 minutes? What? For me. What is the what? What is the value of 90 minutes? If I were to use 90 minutes to work in my office or to read or to do some research or to, whatever, what is the value? That is the first thing. What is the value of 90 minutes? What is the cost of the fuel? What is the cost of wear and tear? What is the effect on this on my health and my well-being? When you make all those calculations, then you'll be able to decide if you will want to either drive, pay, cancel, or decide to do another day. I just wanted to leave you with that thought so that you make, make that decision. A lot of you are now saying it was not a good decision. So yes, I agree with you. It was not a good decision, but that's my thought. Someone else might disagree. But just one idea of how we value our time and cost our time. There is another one, but I don't think we'll have the time to do it. Like I said, we're going to share the slide. We're going to share the slide, so we will not do this exercise. Please permit me. Okay? Now, I have something before you. Every one of us work first for self-fulfillment, but very importantly, to make money. Very importantly, to make money. And we commit time. We commit time to drive value, and then we make money. So I want to ask you, of the 4 graphs, A, B, C, and D that you have on my screen, if you are a student who has graduated from time management, and now you want to do postgraduate in time mastery, which of the graph would apply to you, or what would you choose? Give me the answers. Let's go. Which of the graphs will apply to you? I'm waiting. I hope my connection is still there. You can hear me. Let's go. Okay, the answers are coming in. Which one? D, okay. Somebody says B. B, I'm getting D, B. B or D, A. Oh my God. B. Nobody has mentioned C. I'm seeing A, B or D. A, B or D. A, B or D. Okay, okay. Prince, you chose A. If I give you 30 seconds, can you tell us why you chose A? Prince, if you can hear me. Tega, you say B or D, so you're confusing me also. Adabra, you said B. Why did you choose B? Let's go. Someone asked me, what does the curved line? It's labeled. It's labeled. We have time, money, and value. Everything is labeled. They're all labeled. Time, money, value. They're all labeled. Someone is speaking, but your connection is unstable. I cannot hear you. Try again. Okay, someone has written something. B, more money and value and spend less time. Wow. More money and value, spend less time. Okay. I hope I'm not confusing you. Somebody says B, more money and value. Okay. Now, so let me explain it quickly. For someone who's saying B, is about efficiency, but not effectiveness. Is about efficiency. B is about efficiency, less time, more money. But what about the value? What about the value? Right? Now, if you were to look at it, the right curve is actually D, because the amount of time you're putting to make the money gives you a straight line, which is the value. So the value derivable is qualitative and there is effectiveness. So D is the right response. If you look at C, for example, there is so much time wasted, little money gotten, the value is dropping. The value is dropping. So in the future, when you do something, ensure that the amount of time you put into making the money derives a value that commensurates it. Now, if you look at B, of course, it looks like there's a value, but the value should be a straight line, not a curved line. The value should always be a straight line. So it is important for you to understand the amount of time you put in to make the money should give you the right value for your time. Effectiveness versus efficiency. Now, I says efficiency is time management focused. Effectiveness is time mastery focused. If you have any questions, please do not forget to ask. Now, I'm trying to break it down a little. Please look at what I have. And this is very simple explanation of what we do in our workplaces. Whether you're a business owner or you are an employee, I want to show you a clear difference between efficiency and effectiveness. So first, efficiency is doing things right. Doing things right. You've been given a target. The time has been set, right? How you should do it, who should do it, everything has been determined for you. And you just want to do it on time. So the focus is on time. You have to follow the rules. That is doing things right. Number two, it is process focused. Efficiency is process focused. What are the processes? Step 1, step 2, step 3. That's efficiency. It is important for the organization Most companies want things done quickly, no time wasted. In fact, most companies focus more on efficiency, how quickly you do it. Did you finish this on time? That's it. Finish on time. Minimum effort and resources. Don't waste resources. Don't waste money. Don't waste time. Doing things without wasting materials, without wasting time, and without wasting too much energy. That's efficiency. Output versus input. But very importantly, efficiency is a productivity metrics. It is productivity. At the end of the day, they are looking, what is the quantity? Did you get this quantity in time? That is what efficiency is. Let me give you something more specific. So efficiency is when you hire employee by reducing the cycle time. So let's say we have 10 employees and you think they are not delivering the product on time, right? Prince, can you mute your mic, please? Prince, can you mute your mic? Let's see. Okay. So you hire the employee because there are 10 of them and they are not delivering the right quantity and they are not meeting up with the time. You increase the hiring from 10 to 15 or to 20, right? And you hire now, urgently. Now, let's look at it in this way. That a factory has 1,000 products per shift, installed capacity. This factory is built to produce 1,000 products, installed capacity. And it goes ahead to produce 1,000 products. 20 of these products are rejected. They do not meet standard. Either they are not sealed properly, or they are leaking, or there's something wrong with it. But the most important thing is 1,000 products were produced. We used to supply machines to some companies to produce sealing bags, right? Now, some of those machines have capacity to do 140 bags per minute, 140 bags per minute. When you run the machines, these machines will produce 140 bags per minute, but we'll sort the bags. In sorting the bags, sometimes you find out that 15, 20, 18, 17 bags are not properly sealed. You take them out. But the machine has produced 140 bags. It's the same. So this is efficiency. 1,000 installed capacity, produce 1,000 products. 20 of them may be rejected. That's not important, but it has produced 1,000. So that is efficiency. Time, quantity, efficiency is opposed to when you focus on effectiveness, right? Now, this is the difference. Effectiveness talks about doing the right things, Now, even though the machine has been programmed to produce a certain number, you are careful of what you're producing so you don't send wrong quality to the market. Now, effectiveness is end result focused, not process. At the end of the day, what is the final product? Okay? It measures if actual output meets desired output or not. That is effectiveness. It's an important factor from the customer's perspective, because if you have 1,000 products and you package them and you send it to the customer and the customer discovers himself or herself that 20 products are bad, it gives you a bad image. So from the customer perspective, effectiveness is better. Oyinlole, please, can you mute your mic? Can you mute your mic?
Securities, we also have 2 bouncers coming.
Right thing, right way, right time. That is effectiveness. Right thing, right way, right time. And it is output versus input, but it is quality metric, not productivity metric. Please get the difference. Productivity metric is quantity. Quality metric is quality. Now, if we move the same example, hire right candidate at the right time for the right position. Now, you are not hiring the candidate because you want to fill up the cycle. You are hiring a candidate who is right, and you're doing it at the right time, and you must hire the right person. Now, look at this big difference. The machine or the factory has 1,000 products per shift, installed capacity. Instead of producing 1,000 products, it produces 990 products, and all of them are okay. 990, all of them are okay. Effectiveness is 990 over 990. Effectiveness is 100%.
You can drop us a message via WhatsApp.
Even though it was meant produce 1,000. He produces 990, and they are all okay. So the quality is what is most important. And you are delivering 990 quality products to the customer, as opposed to delivering 1,000 products, 20 of which are bad. So you must understand now clearly the difference between time management, which is efficiency focused, and time mastery, which is effectiveness focused. Oyinloye, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. So the question is, how do you cost your time? Sometimes we don't do that. An example of Tunde who wanted to buy a tie is one good example of how to cost our time. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through the entire, but I'll just give you an example. So you have to start by working out how much your time is cost. For example, if you know how many hours you spend at work each day, right? What this does, it helps you to see whether or not you are spending your time efficiently and effectively. Now, a few weeks ago, I was talking to an HR specialist, and I saw in the document she sent to me what she called cost to the company. Now, don't forget, when you are employed by a company, apart from the salaries they pay you, the overtime, transport allowance, and all of that, the company makes a pension contribution on your behalf. So when the company calculates your cost to the company, they add the pension contribution to what they pay you as your total cost to the company. So if you want to know your cost to the company, first you check how many hours you work in a day, right? And then you check how many of those hours do you put into productive use. For example, if you are a time management conscious person and not time mastery now, I'm talking, you get into the office on a particular day, you have 15 to do items on your list, and you have 8 hours to do it. At the end of the day, you ask yourself, did you do these things in order of priority? And how many of the 15 items were you able to accomplish? And what is the end result? Did you service a customer properly? Did you achieve some fulfillment from that? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Now, to do that and make it more specific, you must calculate what's your salary for the month. What are the payroll taxes? What is the cost of the office space? Sometimes we don't understand that the office space we use has a value. So if you check what's your salary, what is the payroll taxes, the payee that's paid on your behalf, the pension contribution that's on your behalf, if you know the cost of all the office space, the equipment you use a computer, use a table, a desk, lighting, internet that you use, even the coffee that you take in the office, right? And the air conditioning system and the power consumption and all of that. And then what you do is, to that figure, whatever the figure comes to, for example, if you earn 500,000 naira, for example, and there's a 50,000 naira payroll tax, and the office space is 2 million naira per year, and then you say per month, you know what it is, then per day, you know what it is. So if you're 10 persons there, in a day, you divide it by 10 and take one part of that for yourself. The same thing you do with equipment, the internet, and all of that. Then you need to add 40%. So for example, if everything comes to 1 million, you need to add 40% to that 1 million. That is 1.4 million. Then you work 8 hours a day, which is about 2,302 hours per annum. Then you calculate an hourly rate from these figures, and this will give you a reasonable estimate of how much of time is what. So if you put all these figures and add the 40%, and you know in a year you work 2,302 hours, then you now need to divide the total amount of money that you've added 40% to by the number of hours you work. And that gives you exactly an idea of your value. Now, it's mathematical, but it's just to let you understand that at the end of the day, what you get will be amazing. And sometimes you'll find out that we spend so much of our time doing the unimportant things that we think are urgent. And at the end of each working day, we go home unfulfilled, hoping that we have more than 24 hours. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. So let's look quickly now on what I call time invested versus time spent, because they're two different things. Time invested versus time spent. And sometimes, oh, I spent a lot of time today. I spent a lot of time in the office today. I spent a lot of time in the meeting today. But I don't know how many of us here say, oh, I invested a good time today. I invested my time wisely. So I don't know. Can I get some response? How many of us use time invested as opposed to time spent? Can I get responses? How many of us in our business conversation, in our, casual conversations, use time invested? Time invested. Okay. Osiris says she does. I think it's a male or female. Yeah. Okay. So how many of us? Because I know people use more. I spent time spent. Somebody said never used that before. Good. You have to begin to think that way today, that you can use time invested and time spent. That's very important. Time invested is a time mastery mentality, while time spent is a time management mentality. So time, like money, can be used as an expense or investment. It can be spent wastefully with nothing to show for it, or it can be invested in ways which enrich the future. We're going to have some specific examples. So time invested, time spent. So participating in this training is time invested, not time spent. Please take note, because there's a value coming directly. Reading work-related journals or publications, or reading books, whatever, is time invested, it's not time spent. Proposing a new idea for efficiency or effectiveness is time invested. Mastering a new skill or job function is time invested. It's opposed to time spent. Holding a meeting without clarifying the agenda. And you come out and say, we spent a lot of time today, we achieved nothing. You say that all the time. Typing or printing reports when it was fine in draft or soft copy. You know, you want to print and hold the paper. You waste ink, you waste paper, you waste time. When you have been better in draft, that is time spent. Spending time doing the least important things is also time spent. So today, start to think, should I invest more than I spend when it comes to your time? The answer is yes. Okay. Now, this is a very simple, I'm sure we're all used to this. Depending on where you find yourself in your organization, if you're an employee, do you find yourself at the lower cadre, the middle, or the top? If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, of course, you find yourself at that top level. So for business owners, or those who are employees at the top level, you will spend nearly 65% of your time on conceptualization, strategy thinking, conceiving ideas, okay, opening new horizons. Now, at the middle level, you spend a bit of time conceptualizing. And then at the lower level, if you are a chief executive officer or business owner, you have very little or nothing to do at that lower level. So look at these boxes, lower, middle, and top. Where do you fit in the organization? The size of the box tells you how much time you should